Welcome to the Rich Life video newsletter, issue number 6. I'm Michael Lynch. My promise in the Rich Life video series is to share with you wisdom that I've learned from people in my life who are living rich lives. And I briefly like to remind people the 4 components of a rich life. Number 1, you become deeply aware of your purpose in life. What are the natural gifts and abilities that you have? When you use them, they just light you on fire. Number 2, you invest in yourself. As you get better and better at these things you are naturally good at, you feel fulfilled. You know you're making a difference in the world. Number 3, you are aware of being a value creator. As you get better and better at these purposeful traits that you have, and you invest in yourself, you instantly create value. Some of it as a financial reward, a spiritual reward, but it's a reward one way or the other. And lastly, and the most important part as it relates to the Rich Life Network, is who do you surround yourself with? There's groups that are often called masterminds or genius networks or inner circles. We're creating a network here of people who really know and trust and can lean on each other to pursue the big dreams they have in their life. So that's how we explain what a rich life is. So today, fortunate to have a guest, my friend Dan Dionne, who's a financial professional working for SmartPro Financial. Dan and I have been aware of each other for years, but we just met for the first time this year. And we learned quickly that one of the things we have in common is we love reading and applying what it is that we learn. So, Dan, there you go. There's my setup for you. I'd love to have you tell the story to this audience that you shared with me about the book you read and the impact it had.
Yeah, no, thanks, Michael. Hey, thanks everyone for looking at what we're doing here today. And let me just give you a quick snapshot of the actual book that I read. Now, I read this book back starting on May 8th, finished it right quickly. It was very short book, but it had some great information about being intentional with your life. And that's what I've been trying to do on and off my entire life, right? Is to be that better person, to incorporate things like prayer life and visualizations and affirmations and kind of building myself up. So that's really what this book was doing. Hal, the creator of this book, has definite versions that you can use. Some that are more towards your profession, and then just a general book as well. I ended up using one that was geared towards real estate, although it could have been any of the books really, because the process is exactly the same. It's a process called the life savers, right? So the savers in this particular
Acronym, like an acronym,
exercise.
Dan? Is that what that is? Yeah.
Yeah, this exercise is really silent time, affirmation time, visualization time, exercise, reading, and scribing. So that's the savers. So it really helped me to be more intentional, taking small steps every single day. And before you know it, in a month or even 2 months or a half a year, you're taking a huge step, a huge leap forward in your life. And that's really what I found. Today, I'm on day 216 of my journey, right? So I started back on May 8th. And, 216 days later, what have I found I was able to do? Well, every single day, some days better than others, right? But I use this process. I get up in the morning a little early. I love my morning time anyways, so that's perfect for me. And in about 90 minutes, I go through the savers, right? So the silent time, the affirmations, the visualizations, exercises, reading, and scribing. I do all that, but even before my day starts, because I'm launching myself into my day, I'm trying to get something significantly started for my day, and certainly more positive maybe than I had experienced in the past. Well, through these little baby steps every single day, what I've been able to achieve is to walk about 650 miles so far this year, losing 10 pounds of weight. Additionally, I've passed a few exams, not only by affirming, but visualizing myself taking those exams while I was actually studying for them. So I got my Florida real estate license and my FINRA 66 license, which allows me to be an advisor. I
Dan,
had that
if I
license
can
before.
interject, Dan, for 1 second, when we talk about what's interesting about this story is, so when we talk about the term invest in yourself, and that's kind of a, okay, a couple words, a phrase. Here's the, as I'm listening to this story, what's interesting about this is you just, people think, well, you read a book, open, close, put it on the shelf. Day 216, you're a walking and talking ambassador of this book. Uh, I'm just pointing out when you invest in yourself and you have a affable personality where you care about other people. Look, I just want to point out the fact that as you're telling your story, you are laying out the benefits for what other people could get
Right.
from it.
And the one thing that I've learned over the course of my personal development here is if you're not filling up your own cup, you'll never have you'll never have enough to spill over to give to other people, right? So that's really where, this is all coming together for me, is that, you know, taking care of yourself in a more significant way by taking these baby steps every single day, reading a little bit. I've now read 20 books this year. I never read 20 books in a year in my life, right? So it's really quite amazing what you can do when you do something with routine, with intention, with purpose, and certainly with a goal in mind. So so goal setting is huge for me. And certainly in my business, it has to be as well, right? So I look forward to just growing more.
Well, think about this too. We're at the end of the year, end of 2024. Dan, some people get into resolutions, but I talk a lot about dreams and goals. This is often a wonderful, not that it has to be exclusive to this time of year, but it's a wonderful time to be working on it. Do me a favor. You had briefly held up the book. The name of the book again? Okay. The Morning Miracle.
The miracle morning.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, the miracle morning. If you want to search for the author, it's Hal Elrod, and just a wonderful person, a great story. Certainly, lots of great resources on top of the book. But I've just really used the book itself. I don't purchase anything additional, and certainly it works. It works for everyone if you apply the savers.
One key thing too to point out, Dan, that you had stated earlier, it reminds me of when Jack Canfield and Mark Victor Hansen wrote all of their chicken soup books. They created a zillion versions of that based on different audiences. So as you had held that up, it reiterated this is for real estate folks, but this is a book, and this is something you can clarify when you talk to Dan, that they have created multiple versions. So Dan, let me ask you a question. You've put the hook in their mouth. How would you like people to reach out to you to have a further conversation about you in this book and how it could impact the people you talk to?
Right. If you're inclined to reach out and learn more about the process, I'm here. I'm an open book at this point. So you can reach out to me at my office phone number, 860-327-5779, or email me at Dan.Dionne, Dionne, at smartprousa.com. Or you can look at my LinkedIn profile. Certainly, invite me to be a connection. You can go to linkedin.com/Daniel J. Dionne, Dionne.
Very good. You made it very easy for people to reach out to you. Dan, thank you. In closing, the whole theme of this is inviting people to live a rich life. And the appeal I make at the end of these videos is please reach out to me. I can be reached at my website, michaeljlynch.com. And when you're on the homepage, you'll see a button, schedule 1 hour time. I'm looking to build relationships, looking to expand my Rich Life Network and would really like to get to know you better. So please do that. And Dan, thank you again, sir. And may you have a spectacular 2025 following
You as well.
this great book that you've read.